When Maya stepped inside the training hall, she carried nothing more than a small gym bag and a quiet smile. Most students barely noticed her. She moved like someone used to blending into the background. But today, the hall felt different. The air was loud with laughter, loud enough that even her soft footsteps paused. Coach Harris, a proud black belt known for his fierce competitiveness, was laughing at something on his clipboard. When he lifted his head and saw Maya, his smile stretched wider. "You're here for the adult session?" he asked, pretending to sound surprised. "This is advanced training. You might want to try the beginner batch next door." She paused, keeping her voice even. "I signed up for this one." His eyes skimmed her size, her thin wrists, her quiet posture. "People get hurt in here," he said, loud enough so others would hear. "I wouldn't want you complaining later." The students glanced over, some smirking, some uncomfortable. Maya gave no reaction. "I'll manage," she replied gently. Her gentleness triggered something in him, maybe ego, maybe insecurity. Whatever it was, he laughed again, louder this time. "All right then. Let's show you what real training looks like." He called for a demonstration partner. Everyone expected him to pick another black belt. Instead, he pointed directly at Maya. "Why don't you show us what you've got? Simple sparring. No pressure. No pressure, but every eye in the gym was now on her. Maya set down her bag slowly, almost too carefully, as if every movement carried a quiet story. She stepped forward and bowed. He returned the bow, but his smirk never left. What nobody knew was that Maya had once promised herself she'd never do this again. She had walked away from a world filled with medals, spotlights, and expectations, walked away so deeply that not even her closest co-workers at her day job knew she had ever been someone else. She had buried that past for reasons that still shadowed her heart. But she had joined this gym because she wanted to rebuild her confidence, not in her skills, but in herself as a human being. A place of kindness, she thought. A place of healing. Yet here she was, being mocked before she had even spoken 10 words. Harris stepped in confidently, expecting a quick moment to display superiority. "Let's see your stance," he said, circling around her like an interviewer with all the answers. She responded calmly, adjusting her feet, keeping her posture low and balanced. But he only chuckled. No, that's too soft. You look like you're waiting in a queue, not fighting." The students laughed again. Then he moved, fast, a sharp step forward, testing her reaction, trying to intimidate her. Maya didn't flinch. She simply breathed. He attempted a light tap toward her shoulder, something harmless, something showy, but she slipped aside without touching him. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't flashy. It was effortless. The movement of someone who knew how to read people better than they read themselves. The room quieted slightly, but Harris pretended not to notice. "Lucky dodge," he said. He tried again. This time quicker. She moved again, clean, calm, controlled. The laughter faded fully now. The dramatic energy he'd been feeding on flickered. Harris's pride bristled. He tried a more assertive strike. Not dangerous, but definitely not beginner-friendly. Maya didn't move back. Instead, she stepped in, redirecting his arm with the smallest, softest push. He stumbled half a step, surprised. And that's when the room fell completely silent. No one had ever made him lose balance like that, not in public, not in front of his students. Maya took a breath, never raising her voice. "I don't want to embarrass you," she said quietly. "I only came to learn." Her kindness stung him more than any counter-strike could have. To him, it sounded like pity. And pride hates pity. His jaw tightened. He attacked again, too forcefully this time. He didn't want to hurt her, but he wanted to win back the room. Before the strike could land, Maya moved smoothly, stepped in, and placed 2 fingers gently against his arm in the exact spot that would lock his momentum. It was the kind of move that required years of discipline, precision, and instinct. Harris froze mid-motion, not because she trapped him, but because he knew what she could have done. A hush spread like a wave around the gym. Maya stepped back immediately, lowering her hands. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I shouldn't have reacted that way. I know you just wanted to guide me." Her apology, sincere and undeserved, shook the entire room more than her skill had. Harris straightened, trying to regain his composure. But the students were no longer looking at him. They were watching Maya, not with mockery, but with respect. and curiosity. Someone whispered from the back, "Who is she?" But Maya only bowed and stepped aside, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. The demonstration was over, but the silence it left behind was louder than any sparring match the gym had ever seen. Moments later, Harris checked his clipboard again, but his hands weren't steady. There was something else written there, something he had forgotten. A note from the gym director. "New member Maya Iqbal, former instructor. Please treat with utmost respect." His stomach tightened. He hadn't read it earlier, and now he had no idea how to face the kindness of the woman he had mocked. After the session ended, Maya quietly moved to the corner to tie her shoes, hoping the room would return to normal before anyone approached her. But whispers had already turned into murmurs, and murmurs into small clusters of curiosity. She kept her head low, not wanting attention. Harris hesitated before walking over. His confidence had faded into something unfamiliar, something almost human. "Maya," he said awkwardly, "that was impressive." She smiled politely. "Thank you. And I hope I didn't disrupt the class." "You didn't," he replied, but his voice cracked. I think the disruption was my doing." He stood there for a moment, shoulders tight, like someone fighting a battle inside himself. "I shouldn't have mocked you," he finally said. It was unprofessional and unkind. His honesty surprised her. She looked up for the first time. "It's all right. People judge what they see. You didn't know. That's not an excuse," he said. "You showed more discipline in 5 minutes than I've shown in years." Students nearby listened silently. Some had joined his laughter earlier. Now they shifted uncomfortably. Maya didn't respond. Instead, she picked up her bag. But before she could step away, Harris spoke again. "Why did you move like that? You've trained before, haven't you?" The question froze her. Old memories, bright lights, roaring crowds, a younger version of herself standing on podiums, flashed for a moment. But those were not the memories that made her leave. The memory that haunted her was different. A teammate she couldn't protect. A competition where she pushed herself too far. A world where winning mattered more than kindness. "I used to train a long time ago," she whispered. "I stopped." His brows furrowed. "Why?" "Life," she said simply. "And a promise I made." He wanted to ask more, but something in her tone told him not to. She turned to leave, but then she saw someone at the door, a girl about 14, holding a gym membership form. She looked nervous, hesitating before stepping inside. Maya recognized that look, the same look she once had when confidence felt like a luxury. Harris approached the girl. "You're here for training?" "Don't worry, this is a friendly place." The girl looked past him, her eyes landing on Maya instead. "Is it really?" she asked softly. Her words hit harder than any kick. Maya stepped forward. "It can be," she said gently, "as long as we make it so." The girl smiled a little. "Will you be coming here too?" "Yes," Maya said, "if the coach allows." Harris's throat tightened. "Of course," he replied quickly. "In fact, I'd be honored." The students exchanged glances. Something in the gym's atmosphere had shifted, like a workplace after discovering the quietest employee was the one keeping the whole system running. The balance of respect had rearranged itself. As Maya walked toward the exit, Harris followed her outside. "Can I ask you one last thing?" he said. She stopped but did not turn around. "How did you stay so calm when I mocked you? Anyone else would have reacted differently. You were kind." Maya closed her eyes for a moment. "Strength without kindness is just another form of weakness," she said quietly. "I've seen what ego can do. I don't want to become that again." Her words sank deep, heavier than any kick he'd taken in training. Later that evening, when the director visited the gym, he immediately noticed the shift. The students spoke differently. The energy felt grounded, respectful. He asked Harris what happened. Harris didn't hide anything. "She taught us something today," he said. "Not about fighting, but about humanity." He didn't mention the embarrassment he felt, nor the pride he lost. Instead, he mentioned how she had reacted, with calmness, humility, and dignity. An unsung hero who never asked to be recognized. The director nodded. "Kindness from strong people. That's rare. She's more than strong," Harris replied. "She's someone I hope to learn from." Days passed, and Maya returned to train quietly. The students greeted her respectfully now, not because of her skill, but because of her character. They had seen strength before, but they had never seen strength used so gently. And Harris? He changed. He corrected students with patience. He stopped shouting. He encouraged beginners instead of intimidating them. He became the coach he wished he had been earlier. One evening, he stopped Maya before she left. "You once said you didn't want to embarrass me," he said. "But the truth is, you saved me." Maya looked at him, puzzled. "You saved me from becoming the kind of teacher people fear instead of admire. That's a kindness I won't forget." She smiled softly. "Then pass it on. That's all kindness ever asks." As she stepped outside, a small breeze brushed past her, carrying a warmth she hadn't felt in years. The gym behind her, once filled with pride and noise, had become a place of quiet respect. Not because she fought, but because she chose kindness. And that decision had silenced the whole gym in a way no victory ever could.